Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to TravelJoy 101, an introductory look at the TravelJoy platform. My name is Caitlin, and I'll be your host today. I am joined in the audience by fellow Joymaker Lenore, who will be helping to monitor the chat and answer questions in the Questions tab. Now, if you are new to the TravelJoy platform, I'd love to tell you a little bit about who we are. We are TravelJoy, the all-in-one platform for travel advisors. With our platform, you can manage clients, create itineraries, and handle payments all in one place. From our full CRM to our itinerary builder, you get access to tools that help you save time, look professional, stay organized, and simplify payments. So let's explore how TravelJoy can add value to your daily routine. At TravelJoy, you get a centralized digital workspace to run your business smoothly and efficiently. Stay organized and stress-free with our CRM. Securely store client details, effortlessly connect with travelers, and manage tasks with ease all in one place. Want to create beautiful professional proposals and itineraries that will impress your clients? Our itinerary and proposal builder helps you craft memorable experiences that leave a lasting impression. Get paid with ease. TravelJoy's invoicing tools let you securely collect credit card authorizations and process payments seamlessly. Next, you can save hours by letting TravelJoy handle all the busy work by automating routine emails, forms, and follow-ups. Plus, you can harness the power of AI to create complete itineraries and proposals in under 60 seconds, dramatically cutting down your workload. And finally, we've got you covered on simplifying group trips. Save time and stay organized with our groups feature. Create streamlined booking pages and manage group trips from one convenient tab. In today's webinar, we'll explore a few of these features in more detail, showing you how TravelJoy can help you streamline your workflow. We have a jam-packed webinar for you today. I'm going to walk you through how to set up your account, and then we'll build a trip and smart proposal together. Then we'll take you through building your first group and group booking page, as well as how your clients can authorize and make payments. We'll also go through our Help Center and the many resources we've created to support you as you learn to use TravelJoy. Now, near the end of today's session, I will be providing you with a promo code for 50% off your first 2 months of a monthly membership, so please stay tuned. If you do need to leave a little early, that promo code section will be on the recording email to you after the webinar ends. This webinar will move quickly. Please note that you will receive a recording of this session by email after its conclusion. You'll be able to pause, rewind, and rewatch the recording to really take in what we go over today. We welcome your questions. My fellow Joymaker is here in the audience to answer those for you. You can submit your questions in the Questions tab just below the chat box. It's that little circle with the question mark in it. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into TravelJoy. And hello, everyone. So good to see you. I'm going to be changing my screen here so my face will get nice and big. But thank you for joining us today. It is a pleasure to have you here. If you missed the beginning of the intro, my name is Caitlin. I'm one of the Joymakers here at TravelJoy, and I'll be leading today's session. And I'm just going to pop over into my TravelJoy account now. Hello, hello. All right, folks, so we are starting off with account setup. We have a very handy tool to help you through your account setup that you can find up here at the top right-hand corner of your TravelJoy account. Yours may say 40%, yours may say 20%, yours may say 60% like mine. This is the profile setup checklist. If you click on this icon, it's going to bring up the checklist, and you can walk through each of these steps to get your account all ready to go. You start with your free trial, then you set up your brand, things like agency name, logo. You can see the client experience, what your client will see when they open a proposal or a form from you. Import your clients to your contact list on TravelJoy so you can manage them there. And most importantly, get paid by connecting to our direct payments settings. I'll talk a little bit about that later on. If you are just wanting to use this checklist as a guideline, you're not going to complete all the steps, and you want that icon gone from the top right-hand corner of the screen, you can hide the profile setup checklist using this link here. Now let's jump right into the fun stuff. Today we're going to be creating a trip, then we're going to create a smart proposal, a group booking page, and then invoices. So we're going to start with that trip, and the way to create a trip on TravelJoy is by heading to the pink Create button at the top left-hand corner of the screen. From here, you can select Trip from the options that appear. And creating a trip in TravelJoy is very simple. All you need is your client's first name, last name, and their email address so you can communicate with them. Now, I want you to think of a trip as a file folder. Everything from start to finish, your communication with your client about this trip and any resources you create for them about this trip will live in that file folder. We don't even have to know where our client is headed quite yet. We just need to have those details such as their name and email to get started. We can select our primary traveler from our contact list if they are already there by using this drop-down menu here, or you can create a new traveler if they're not already in your contact list using this Create New link. I already have my contact in mind, so I'm going to be selecting them from my list, Miss Jane Doe. And I don't know where Jane is headed quite yet. She's just reached out to let me know she's interested, so we're just going to start here. We'll use the blue Create Trip button to start the process. And this is our trip. So we land on the trip message feed where all of our communication is going to be visible between us and our client through TravelJoy. Now we probably want to learn a little bit more about where Jane would like to go. So we're going to start by sending her a form. Your forms are completely customizable underneath your templates tabs and forms. We're going to send this form by navigating to the blue Create button over on the right-hand side of the screen. From here, we're going to select Form, which is going to open up a new page, which is going to allow us to select which travelers on the trip we are sending this form to. So as you can see, we just have Jane on this trip, so she is the only traveler. If there were multiple travelers and we wanted Jane to be able to submit this form on behalf of other travelers, we could allow one recipient to submit forms for other travelers by checking this checkbox here. We can select the form that we'd like to send to our client from our form templates using this drop-down menu here. I'm going to leave mine at Client Inquiry. We can even choose a confirmation email to be sent after our client submits their form. So if we want to follow up with them very quickly after they submit that form with next steps, you can automate that process. Once you're happy with your selection, head on up to the blue Next Review email button at the top right. With any feature that you send through TravelJoy, such as forms or proposals, you're going to be able to customize the email message that accompanies that feature. You can change the subject if you'd like, change the body of the message, change the email template that is coming in. So this is an email template that we're seeing here. So you can choose from your email templates using this drop-down menu here. Make sure your signature looks nice and tidy, and then add attachments in the bottom left if you need to. Once you're done composing your message, use the blue Send button, and away it goes. And we know that was successfully sent because we're taken right back to our trip message feed. And now we can see that message that we just composed to our client with our form in that feed. So what does this look like to Jane? If I head on up to Jane's email inbox, which I just so happen to have access to, we're going to see that email has been received from me. When Jane enters it, she's going to be prompted to view the trip form using that blue button, and there's that message we composed. And this is what the form will look like to Jane. So she'll be able to fill out this form, and while I won't be able to fill out every single one of these fields, you can kind of get an idea of what you can include on these forms. Jane is going to be heading to Palm Springs, California. Her trip will be the last weekend of May, so very quick turnaround, and so on and so forth. Again, I won't be able to fill out all of these questions, but this gives you an idea of what you can include. Once Jane is done filling out her form, she'll head up to the top right-hand corner of the screen to submit that form, and a thank you message will appear. This is completely customizable underneath your confirmations templates. If we head back to our TravelJoy account and refresh the page in any way, you're going to get a notification that a form has been filled out through your email, but you'll also see that form in the trip message feed. There's a link to that form that's been completed here, but you can also always find it underneath your Trip Files tab. Now, if you've been with TravelJoy for a little bit, this Files tab may look different to you. So if you haven't noticed yet, we do have a new file view. It allows for a little bit more organization, keeping things tidy, and displays more information as well on those files. So we hope you like it as much as we do. But that form can be found underneath that Trip Files tab right here. All right, so now that we know where Jane is headed, we can kind of customize this trip a little bit more. You'll notice at the top right-hand corner of the screen that those dates of travel have already been input from that form. So that automatically was done for us. We can also see the destination has been updated as well. So if we want to customize this trip a little bit further, let's say change the waterfall photo in the background, we can use the three-dot menu just to the left of the blue Create button to select Edit Trip, and this will allow us to edit those details. I'm going to select a new photo using the Choose Photo button at the top right, and I can search our database or upload my own at the top. Now, I use Palm Springs in every single one of these webinars, so I have a few photos that I'm particularly fond of. This one and this one are two of my favorites now. I'm going to go with this one since it has those beautiful purple mountains in the background. It's outside of Palm Springs, but gives you still an idea. I'm going to select that photo, but again, you can search for your destination if you'd like or use photos you've used in the past. I'm going to change the name of Jane's trip to Jane Doe's Desert. And let's say Getaway. If we needed to add additional travelers, we could do so here, change the dates of travel, change the destination, it's all here. Once you've updated those fields, use the blue Save button in the bottom right. And now the trip is updated. So we have our beautiful photo of our purple mountains and our title here. So what's next? We're likely going to build a proposal for Jane to approve. So you can create a smart proposal on TravelJoy, which will allow your client to view the details of the trip that you put together, even choose from options like hotel options if you'd like. You can also offer bookable items such as activities, hotels, and transfers on smart proposals. You can create a smart proposal by heading to the blue Create button once more. You'll get very familiar with it. And selecting Smart Proposal from the options that appear. Now you can also go straight towards building an itinerary. It won't have some of the features like options on there, but you can go straight to the itinerary if you don't need an approval on your proposal. The Smart Proposal allows for that approval element. This is our Smart Proposal Builder. Almost everything is edited on the right-hand side. What we're looking at over here is our Settings tab. If you ever need to get back to the Settings tab, just use that Settings button here at the top of the proposal in the Proposal Title box. We can give our proposal a title. It does not have to be the same as your trip. You can make it whatever you'd like, but I'm going to go ahead and say Jane's Desert Getaway with an exclamation point so she knows it's fun. You can place a proposal intro in this box if you'd like. Even change the style of your signature over here on the left-hand side. If cursive isn't your thing, you can change it to a different font. You can change the cover photo if you'd like this header image to be different from the trip, just by adding your photo here. You can choose the thank you message that appears from your confirmations templates using this drop-down menu here when your client approves their proposal. The confirmation email that can be triggered after your client approves the proposal can be selected here. So if you'd like to automate that process, you can do so from this tab. We also have our pricing tab up here, a fairly new feature to our smart proposals. So you have a few options here. You can have payments off and just show your pricing, and you can play with some of these settings here. Just show the total price and deposit, or you can have the price be the sum of items that you add to your smart proposal. You can choose to show itemized prices or one total package price. And once your client approves the proposal, you can choose to hide the prices or show the prices just by using these toggles here. You can also accept credit card authorizations and direct payments directly through smart proposals now. If we head over to the left-hand side, I'll give you a quick tour. This big box down here at the bottom, this is our Magic Importer tool. This is going to allow you to bring in details about cruises, hotels, flights, and activities from items such as itineraries or invoices from your supplier. You would just drag and drop those documents into this box. Our system will try to match them with what's in our database, and if it finds any matches, it'll bring it into the smart proposal for you. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about our Magic Importer tool, I will go ahead and post in the chat. Hi, everyone. I can't always look over at the chat, so it's so nice to see everyone tuning in from all over. Perfect. All right. Above our Magic Importer tool, we have a few options. I'm going to go from right to left here. We have our bookable items. I did mention this a little earlier. You can now book hotels, activities, and transfers through TravelJoy and earn a commission on these things. You would just select this Explore Bookable Items button to allow yourself to look through hotels, activities, and transfers once more. You can search for the destination, the dates, and add these to your proposal simply by clicking on them viewing the details about that item or hotel in this case, and you can add it to your proposal to offer to your clients to book directly through TravelJoy. We're going to head back to our proposal since we're not going to be adding any bookable items today. I just wanted to make sure you're aware of that tool. We have our add options feature. Now, if you wanted to be able to give your clients a choice of hotels, say, on your smart proposals, or even full destinations, you can use this add options button to add your options to your smart proposal. And each option is going to be its own area. So whether that's just adding one hotel option per option box so that your client can choose between them, or again, like I said, you can add full destinations, full itineraries even in these options so that your clients can view them and choose the one that suits their needs best. If you are interested in learning more about smart proposal options, I will also post a guide in the chat. And just as a reminder, I do see a question in the chat. We won't be able to answer that there, but I do want to make sure that it is answered. So please be sure to place it in the questions tab just below the chat box, that little circle with the question mark in it. We'll get that answered for you. All right. We also have the ability just to add sections and items to our smart proposal and build things out a little manually. Sections are going to allow you to break up the smart proposal either by category or date. As you can see, when I click that button, we have a section here. We can go over to the right-hand side to edit that section when selected and select the dates of travel. Let's say May 30th. That's going to be our arrival date. I'm going to very quickly add 2 more sections to break things up here. If I click on this section, I can edit it on the right-hand side. We'll say May 31st. That's going to be our fun day. And if I click on this section, I'll be able to edit it as well. This is going to be the 1st of June. Wonderful. The 1st of June is on a Sunday. I love that. We'll say this is our departure date. Okay. So we have our sections here. Now, if we wanted to add items to these sections, we have plenty to choose from. We have our add item button up here, or we have the add item button on each section if you want to place an item directly into that section. If you click on the add item button, you're going to see all of the categories we have to offer. Something really important to note is that for cruises and lodging or hotels, you can search for properties or cruises to bring in all the information from that cruise line or property, such as photos, deck plans, activity options, that kind of thing, to your smart proposal just by searching it. So if you are interested in learning more about that search feature, I am going to post, you probably guessed it, these guides in the chat. So lots of resources for you that will be available on the replay sent to you after today's session concludes. So you'll be able to access this chat as well as the questions tab and this recording. All right. So I'm going to add an item to our fun day, actually, using that little circle add item button. I'm going to be selecting activity. And I'm going to be sending our friend Jane to the farmers market in Palm Springs on Saturday morning. Let's get rid of that apostrophe there. Now, as you can see, we have plenty of fields for you to fill out. Each field is going to be different per the item that you are selecting to add to your itinerary. So cruises are going to have port information, whereas activity is just going to have location information, details about the activity, that kind of thing. We can say this is the downtown Palm Springs Farmers Market. There we go. Let's say it's at 8 a.m. Perfect. So you can add in those details as needed. In the item description, we can just say something fun like fun shopping with local artists and vendors with an exclamation point. You can even add a YouTube video to this description. Just click on this link, add in the URL for your YouTube video, and it will display within the description on your client's itinerary or smart proposal. We can add our price in here if applicable, if we have that pricing turned on, and add photos from our device. So give me just a few moments. You won't see this portion, but I am selecting photos from my computer. So it'll just take a few moments. All right, so those photos are importing from my computer there. And if I had any documents to share with my client, such as tickets per se by PDF, we could add those to this box here. And that way our clients are going to be able to access those on the go if they need to. All right, so let's say that I send my clients to the Palm Springs Farmers Market quite often, and I don't want to have to create this item every single time I do that. You can use our library feature, which you might have spied here, to save items to your library that you can access across your account on any itinerary or smart proposal. You can add an item to the library at the top right-hand corner of the screen when editing that item. A thank you message will appear in the bottom left. And then if we refresh the page and head into that library button, we'll see our item as well as all the items I have added before. You can also use the library to search for full proposals within your account. Those all automatically save to your library when you create a proposal or an itinerary. And you can create copies of those. So that way, if you have a client that's going on a similar trip to a client you just finished up with, you can use that proposal or itinerary as a base and customize it further for your new client, just by searching for it and bringing it in from the library. I'm going to very quickly build out the rest of our smart proposal using my library. Just going to drag and drop these items here. We'll say our card at the airport is at the bottom there. We have a golf day. That'll be our afternoon activity on Saturday. Move that down. And then our hotel, we'll add it there. Perfect. All right. So using my library, I have very quickly created a very short but effective smart proposal for a weekend getaway. So I'm going to send this off to Jane to see what she thinks. To do so, I'm going to use the Share Proposal button at the top right-hand corner of the screen and select Send. As mentioned with the form, we're going to be able to customize the email that accompanies this smart proposal however we'd like, and we can even choose a new email template at the bottom of the screen. Then select the blue Send button, and away it goes. And again, we're taken right back to our trip message feed where we can see that message and the proposal link here. When Jane accesses her email, she'll be able to view the trip proposal using that blue button. And then she'll be able to view that smart proposal. So at the very top right-hand corner of the screen, she has a few options. She'll be able to take this smart proposal with her on the go using our Itineraries by TravelJoy app just by clicking on this button here, and the directions will follow. She can share the smart proposal, download it, ask a question, which will take her right back to her trip message feed with you. And last but not least, approve the proposal, but we're not there yet. She's going to look through the proposal. She's also going to notice this overview on the left-hand side is clickable. So this will take her down to any portion of the smart proposal that she'd like to go just by clicking on it. We can view all of our items here and our sections up here at the top. And let's say Jane is on board. She wants to book this trip. She's going to head up to the blue Approve Proposal button at the top right. She'll get a thank you message, again, completely customizable underneath your confirmations templates. And if we head back to our TravelJoy account and refresh the page in any way, we get these blue congratulatory banners. You'll get an email letting you know the proposal has been approved. And that proposal is going to turn automatically into an itinerary, which you can see over here on the right-hand side. If you need to edit that itinerary, you can do so by using this three-dot menu. It'll allow you to edit, or you can just click on the itinerary. Or you can find it underneath your Trip Files tab. Just like we saw our form, our itinerary will be here. So if you ever need to get to it, that's how. All right, so we just went through creating our very first trip, sending a form to collect more details, and creating a smart proposal. Hopefully you're still with me. We're going to switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit about groups and group booking pages. Now, remember when I told you to think of trips on TravelJoy as file folders? I want you to think of groups as filing cabinets. So if you have multiple trips going to the same place, you likely have a group on your hands. We're talking family reunions, weddings, cruises are great examples of when you may use a group. Now, to create a group on TravelJoy, it's going to be the same process as creating a trip. You're going to head up to the pink Create button, but instead of selecting trip, we're going to select group from the options that appear. Now, we tend to know where our groups are headed, so I'm going to give this group a name, but let's actually choose a photo first. Now, you probably have guessed we're going to Paris, France, and I do like these photos up here. Again, you can search for photos if needed. I'm going to use this one here. It's one of my favorites. We're going to say, Paris, here we come. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Our starting date for this trip is going to be, let's say, the last week of June, although that's coming up so fast. Say Paris, France is our destination, and then we'll create our group. Now this looks like a very similar process to creating a trip, and it is. The only difference is there's no trip associated to this group right now. This is an empty filing cabinet. So how do we add a trip to a group? There's a couple of ways. So first I'll show you the manual way, and then I'll show you the fun way. So to add a trip manually to a group, you're going to use this plus sign just to the right of the All Travelers tab. And from here, it's going to be the same process as creating a trip that we saw at the beginning of the webinar. We can select a primary traveler from this drop-down menu here, or use the Create New link to add a new contact to our client list. We're going to send Jane on this trip as well, and then we're going to use the blue Create Trip button at the bottom right. All right, so our trip has been created within the group. We know that because we can still see that All Travelers tab, and there is a drop-down menu here where we can now select trips from this group to navigate to if needed. So this is a handy tool to know. But from here, we're probably going to need to send a form to gather all of Jane's information. Then we're going to need to create maybe a smart proposal or an itinerary for her. And then we're going to need to create an invoice for her all manually. And if you have anywhere from 5 to 200 people on your group, that adds up quick. So what's a better way of doing this? I highly recommend our group booking page feature. Now, group booking pages are standalone web pages that allow you to build out details and description of the group itself and the trip and what your clients can expect. Then they can choose from packages that you offer, add on any extra options like excursions, fill out any form information that you need from them prior to them completing that booking, and pay their deposit or full price of the trip and have an invoice generated for them, all wrapped up in a nice little bow and deposited into your group. And all you had to do was set up the group booking page. And now it's doing the work for you. So let's create our very first group booking page together. So to do so, we need to be on the All Travelers tab. So I'm going to navigate there now. And then I'm going to head to the blue Create button. From here, I'm going to select Group Booking Page Supplier. Now you'll notice I have two group booking page options here, and we're going to talk about the difference between direct and supplier in just a bit. But a supplier group booking page just means I'm going to be collecting a credit card authorization from my clients only. So we're not charging their card right there in the moment. We're just collecting those credit card details that we can then access and use to pay our suppliers. Our group booking page editor is broken up into 3 tabs that you can see over here on the left-hand side: description, pricing, and traveler info. Now, description is the fun part. That's where you can get a little bit creative with things. So we can say our group booking page name is To Paris We Go. It doesn't have to be the same as your group. And then we do have a template here. You can take it or leave it. It's just there to help if you need it, give you some inspiration, if you will. You can add photos to your group booking page by placing your cursor where you want that photo to go, using our font toolbar to select the photo icon here. You can copy and paste the image's URL if this is from online, or you can upload from your own computer or device, which I'll do now. Alrighty, just take me just a moment. You won't see this portion. All right, there we go. So I've selected a photo from my device. We'll save, and there we have it. You can resize the image if you need to using those little blue squares in the corners. Just drag and drop it where you want it to go. And if you wanted to add something like a video, you can do so by placing your cursor where you want it to go, just like we did for our photo, and using the play button on the font toolbar. Then you can take the URL of the video you'd like to display. I've got one from Paris from YouTube that I'll be using here that I pre-collected. Save, and there's our video. So our clients will be able to view this video. All right, so we won't be able to fill out the rest of this description tab, but you can have a lot of fun with it. And we're going to head up to our pricing tab, tab number 2 on the left-hand side, to talk a little bit about our packages. So I want to point out that traveler limits refers to the amount of folks that can book a single room or cabin in your group. It does not reflect the amount of people that can book your group as a whole. There's no real limit to that. You set the limits there. Again, this is just the amount of travelers that can book a single room or cabin. I'm going to leave mine set at a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 4. Booking options, we have 3 here at TravelJoy. So we've got travelers share the same dates. Everyone will be arriving on the same date and departing on the same date. The second option is travelers can book between 2 dates that I set. Really great for weddings and family reunions where one party may be coming in on Thursday and leaving on Sunday, where another party may be coming in on Friday and leaving on Monday. You can set the date range, the minimum night stay, and the maximum night stay. The last option that we have here is travelers can book specific dates I set. So if you have multiple date ranges for your clients to choose from, you can add those here. All right. And as a reminder, if you do have questions, I do see a few in the chat, please be sure to add them to the questions tab just below the chat box. It's that little circle with the question mark in it. We do have my fellow joy maker, Lenore, here, who is answering questions as we go. And hopefully I'll be able to answer a few at the end of today's session. Just want to make sure those get answered. I do see a quick one though. Will this be recorded? Yes. And you will receive a recording of this after today's conclusion. It'll come by email. All right. Packages. These are going to be your rooms and cabins. You can add a package to your group booking page, and you can add multiple packages if you'd like by using this add package button. I'm just going to be adding one package today. We're going to say this is the Queen Suite. You can copy and paste images in here if you'd like into that description box. I'm just going to say walkable distance to cafes and shopping, free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and so on and so forth. So the details that they can expect from the accommodation that they're choosing. Quantity limited allows you to keep track of your inventory. So if you have agreed upon amount with your supplier of these packages to sell, you can put a cap on that amount and we'll keep track of that for you. Available until, so this is going to be how long your clients have to book this particular package. So we'll set a date in place. If our trip is leaving in June, we'll say May 1st is the last day that our clients can book this package. Pricing is going to be per person, and we offer up to quadruple occupancy. So we can place in here something like, $1,800 for single occupancy. We can add another occupancy rate. That's going to be our single occupancy here. Double occupancy, let's say it's $1,400 per person, and so on and so forth. So again, you can do up to quadruple occupancy here. You can add a child rate if needed to, just by clicking on that link there. Deposits are mandatory for using group booking pages. This can be per person or per room. And our final payment due date is important for us to create that invoice in the end. So it does have to follow after that available until date. So we'll say May 30th is our final payment due date that'll generate on our invoice. We'll use the blue save button. And as mentioned, you can add multiple packages for your clients to choose from. We're just going to be adding one today. You can add extra options to your group booking page by using the add item button here. Let's say this is a city walking tour. You can add details here. I'm just going to say try to keep up. It's going to be a fast walking tour. We can say our price for this excursion is $50. The deposit amount, if they'd like to save their place, we'll say is $10. We can even keep track of the inventory that we have for these extra options as well. And our available until dates, we'll say May 1st, just like our package. They can differ. I'm just going to keep things simple today. I'll use the blue save button to save that extra item in place. And as mentioned, you can add multiple extra options for your clients to choose from and add on to their booking as well. We're just going to be doing one today for the sake of an example. Our payment details at the bottom give us a little bit of insight to the invoice that is generated here. So our payment method is supplier, meaning we are only collecting a credit card authorization from our clients. You can offer a monthly payment schedule with a supplier group booking page. You can choose the confirmation message that shows after they complete their booking, the terms and conditions you'd like for them to agree to and sign before they complete their booking. And with all group booking pages and invoices, we offer the ability to offer FAY travel insurance. So makes it a one-stop shop for your clients. You can add FAY travel insurance just by checking this checkbox here, watching the onboarding video, and then your clients will be able to add in their details and get their quotes upon checkout. If you are interested in learning more about Faye, I'm going to post a guide in the chat. Perfect. Our last tab is going to be our traveler info tab on the top left. This is going to allow us to choose which forms we'd like our clients to fill out. We can use this drop-down menu here to select that form from our form templates. And if your additional travelers on the trip, let's say your primary traveler says they're traveling with more than one person, you can choose a different form for that additional traveler or keep it the same. Completely up to you. Task lists we don't go over in TravelJoy 101 as it is one of our most advanced features, but I'll show you how to use our Help Center in just a bit and how to search for things like task lists and get guides specifically for that feature. Now we're going to publish our group booking page using that blue publish button at the top right. We're going to copy that link because this is what we can share with our clients. I'm going to click on it though, since it is hyperlinked, so that way we can go straight to our group booking page. And here's what we have. Now, obviously, you will have spent a little bit more time on that description tab. And so your description will be a little prettier than this. Doesn't have too much in it right now. But we'll be able to see our available packages at the bottom of the screen, as well as those extra options. Your clients are going to be able to see those and add them on during the next section if they'd like. They'll choose the package they're interested in using that Book Now button. They'll select the number of travelers that they are anticipating traveling with. And I want to call your attention over to the right-hand side because that pricing will update based on the occupancy rate that we input when we create that package. So as you can see, if I change that occupancy to 2, that's going to update accordingly. Now your clients will have the opportunity to choose different packages here as well so they can compare pricing if they'd like to, if you have more than one package available. They can add on their extra options just by checking the checkbox next to them. And when they're happy with their selection, they can continue to traveler info. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water if that is all right. All right, so the next tab is going to allow them to fill out their form that we selected in that additional traveler info tab. So let's go ahead and say, I'm sending myself on this trip because who doesn't want to go to Paris? All right, and again, your clients will be filling out all of this form. You can even make these required fields, but just for the sake of time, I'm only going to be filling out the required fields I have on my form now. I'm going to continue to payment. I can choose to authorize just the deposit or the full amount of the trip. And then I'm going to add my credit card, which, by the way, this is the most exciting part of the webinar, where you get to watch me put in a fake credit card. Try not to be too blown away. It does take some time though, so I apologize. But this shows you the exact process that your clients will see. All right, they'll save their credit card in place. They'll sign and agree to the terms and conditions. So again, you'll want to select your terms and conditions. Mine are quite sparse. They'll sign and agree, and then authorize and book over here at the top right. That thank you message will appear. And if we head back to our group and refresh the page in any way, that drop-down menu that only had Jane's name on it now has mine. That's because all that information that I just completed was turned into a trip automatically and placed in the group. Now you can easily navigate to it. I have all the information that I need. I have the form that's filled out. These are all links down here. The invoice that was created from my client completing this booking through the group booking registration page. And then we've got our payment info and the signed authorization. And all those details also live underneath the trip files tab. So that is a ton of work that you no longer have to do that was created by the group booking page. So I hope you really enjoy that feature as well. All right, we're heading into our last major section of the webinar, so I hope you are still awake, still with me. We are going to be talking a little bit about invoicing, and to do so, we're going to head back to our individual trip because Jane didn't book through a group booking page for her Palm Springs trip, so we need to create those invoices manually. I'm going to navigate down to that desert getaway trip. And to talk a little bit about invoices, I'm going to be creating first an invoice supplier. So very similar to the process that we just saw, it's going to be collecting a credit card authorization only that we can then use to pay our suppliers. And I'll show you how to access that information during this part of the webinar. Then we'll talk about direct invoices, which allows you the ability to charge your client's credit card right then and there, process it through TravelJoy, and have it land in something called trip funds, which is a mini bank account associated to that trip specifically. From there, you can pay your suppliers using a virtual credit card, a wire, or withdraw your markup to your bank account. And so we're going to start with a supplier invoice, and then we'll talk about a direct invoice. We'll use the blue Create button to create our invoice. And again, we're starting with that credit card authorization only. So we'll select Invoice Supplier. Our invoices are broken up into 3 parts. We have our line items at the top, our payment schedule in the middle, and our settings section at the bottom. Line items can be anything from hotels, which we'll type in there. We can add a description if we'd like, place in a price. And if we click out of the item, it'll save it in place, but you can always click back into it to edit further. You can add additional items using that Add Item button. We'll say air. Say it's 500 for air, and so on and so forth. If you'd like these items to display as a package and not individually priced, you can use the Show as Package checkbox here to group those items together, and those items will not be able to be seen individually priced. You'll still be able to see the 2 items, they just won't have the pricing with them, and everything will display as one single price. The payment schedule is going to allow you a little bit of customization as to how your client pays. So you can start pretty basic by either having them pay in full, you'll choose the due date for that, or the deposit and final payment. You can add in the deposit amount, choose the deposit due date, and choose the final payment due date. Both of these options, however, have this little edit button. So if you need to customize your payment schedule further, just use that edit button, and it's going to open up the payment schedule. So as you can see, it created that one payment for that $1,100. We can add additional payments if we need to break things up, or we can add multiple payments to make potentially a monthly payment schedule or a fixed payment schedule. If you add a payment, you'll notice, let's actually do this. Let's make this the $900 payment down here as our final payment. You'll notice that our system does keep track of this balance. So in order to send this invoice to your client, you need to ensure that your payment schedule matches the amount that you are charging in the line items. So in order to fix this, I'll need to adjust this payment schedule here, and we'll say $200 there. And everything's balanced and we're good to go. I can change the due date, the description of the payment if we want to. And save it in place just by clicking out of it. Once your payment schedule is updated to where you'd like it, scroll on down to the settings. Our payment method is supplier, meaning we are only collecting a credit card authorization. We can change the currency on supplier invoices only that we do not intend to charge through TravelJoy. You can give your invoice a name. You can choose the client on the trip that you would like to have this invoice associated with. So if you have multiple travelers on the trip and they'd like separate invoices, you can assign the invoice to that particular traveler. Confirmation page will be the thank you message that appears once they finish their authorization. Confirmation email will be the email that's triggered after they complete their authorization. Choose the terms and conditions that they will sign and agree to. And then, as mentioned earlier, you can offer a travel insurance through any invoice or group booking page. They are a partner of ours, so you are welcome to go ahead and add that through this invoice. Next, we'll send this off to Jane using the blue Next button at the top right-hand corner of the screen. Select Save and Review Email. Again, we're going to be able to customize this email however we need to, change the email template, add attachments if we need to, use that blue Send button, and off it goes. We're taken right back to the trip message feed where we can see that message. And if we head to Jane's email inbox, we should see that she's received that email. She'll be able to open that invoice. And this is what it'll look like. So we've got our beautiful trip photo up here, the invoice number here, the items here, the amount that's due today. When Jane gets down to the credit card authorization portion, she's going to be able to select which amount she'd like to authorize, or if she'd like to authorize a different amount. Because I do this webinar every week, it is recognizing me as a returning customer. So it's going to give me the credit card that I've used before, which is very kind of it, because then you don't have to watch me put in a brand new credit card, but your clients will see the new credit card button here. They'll sign and agree to your terms and conditions. Again, you can update your terms and conditions underneath your terms and conditions templates. And then at the bottom of the screen, they'll be able to see their payment schedule. So any upcoming payments, so they can be ready for that May 14th payment, they'll be able to view here. They can authorize the payment either here or at the top right-hand corner of the screen. They'll receive a thank you message. And if we head back to our TravelJoy account, you'll receive an email letting you know a payment has been authorized. And if we refresh the page, we'll see that message here. You can gain access to that invoice, the signed authorization, and the payment info here, which, fun fact, your payment info lives within your client's profile card underneath the payment info tab. As you can see, I use the same credit card quite a bit here, but this is how you'd be able to access those credit card details, then use those details to pay your supplier directly. Once you have paid your supplier and you want to show that to your client, you can head to the invoice either by heading to the link in the message itself or heading to the trip files tab and selecting the invoice. If you head down to the payment schedule, you'll see that we have a line that's authorized here with a little credit card. That's also a link to the payment details if needed. We can show our client that we've completed a payment to our supplier by heading to the Mark as Paid button underneath the Actions column. And you'll notice this is going to change the status from authorized to paid. When we paid, we can update that, and we can send the client a receipt. Mark it as paid. It will refresh, and you'll see that status change to paid. And your client will be able to see this as well on their payment schedule. So everyone is kept in the loop, and your records are kept up to date. Alrighty. Now we have a very similar process for direct invoices, but in order to use direct invoices, you first have to set up your direct payments. So if you have not already done so, you're going to head to your settings tab and select direct payments from the options that appear. Now mine are already enabled, but this page is going to walk you through connecting your bank account to TravelJoy. So that way you can withdraw your markup to your bank account, receive commissions that may be from Fay Travel Insurance or any of those bookable items we talked about during the Smart Proposal portion of today's webinar. You want to make sure that this is all set up so that you have access to those things and that you can offer direct invoices. Once that's all set up, you can return to your trip and you'll see the option to create invoices direct underneath the blue Create button. Now it's going to give you a little warning, are you sure? This is because direct invoices, again, charge your client's card right then and there in the moment, and processing fees and times do apply. We'll say, yes, I'm sure. And this is the same builder. So I'm going to very quickly finish the first two sections, and then I'll show you what the bottom settings section looks like for direct invoices, because it's a little bit different. So we'll just do a hotel for this one. We'll say $200. Save it in place. We'll leave that payment schedule at pay in full and keep it nice and easy. And underneath our settings, we have a little bit more information to cover. So our payment method is direct, meaning we are charging our client's credit card right then and there in the moment when they input the credit card details and submit the payment. It's going to fund to your trip funds balance, which again is like a mini bank account associated to that particular trip or group, where you can pay your suppliers via a virtual credit card, a wire, or withdraw your markup to your bank account. We can give that invoice a name, just like we did with our supplier invoice. We can choose to accept payments by credit card or bank transfer. Very important thing to note about these two options. Credit card payments are available instantly within your trip funds balance, whereas bank transfers can take 5 to 10 business days to process. So that is the process of your client completing a payment from their bank and wiring it to you in TravelJoy. So if you have a quickly approaching supplier payment due date, you likely want to go with just the credit card option, but you do have the ability to offer both if you'd like. You can use this drop-down menu to do so. You can charge your client a convenience fee, which will cover those processing fees we talked about briefly. This will show up on your client's invoice as a convenience fee and be included within their payments. We can allow for custom payments on direct invoices. If this invoice is only for your planning fee, you can check this box and have that amount sent directly to your bank account. The client is going to be whoever you'd like to assign this invoice to. Confirmation page we've gone over, confirmation email, we've also gone over your terms and conditions, and of course, pay travel insurance. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a credit card that is going to work for a direct invoice, but I can show you the finished product. We're going to use the blue next button to save. And it's going to take us right back to our trip files tab. And I can see my hotel invoice here. I'm going to use the three-dot menu just to the right of that file to get the invoice link so I can show you what this published invoice looks like. Instead of going through the process of sending it to Jane, going through her email, we can just get straight to the invoice itself. So it looks very similar. The only difference is that we have this big blue make a payment banner here. Your client will input their credit card here. And by completing their payment, they are agreeing to your terms and conditions that they can see here. They'll still be able to see their payment schedule at the bottom of the screen. And as you can see, that convenience fee has been added as well. Once they make a payment, that amount will be deposited within your trip funds balance, which is right here on your trip. So it'll be in this main group of tabs. You'll see a ledger of payments going in and out of the funds balance just below here. And then these buttons will illuminate to allow you to pay your supplier, again, via a virtual credit card or a wire, or withdraw the markup to your bank account. If you are interested in learning more about our funds feature, I am going to post a guide in the chat for you to access. All right, so we have gotten through the meat of our webinar. We've gone through creating a trip, creating a group, and creating invoices. So let's talk now about the resources we've created to help you learn how to use TravelJoy. You can get to our Help Center at any point in time by using the Help tab over here at the bottom left, and I'll post the link to our Help Center as well in the chat. This Help Center comes with hundreds of guides that we've created on each feature to help you learn how to use them. They're all broken up into different columns. So we've got getting started, using TravelJoy, and account management. So if you're a peruse and learn kind of person, highly recommend checking out all three of these tabs. You can also search for any guides using our search bar up here. So as mentioned, if we wanted to learn more about task lists, we could search those keywords and we'll see any guides that we've created upon task lists or from our community. So we do have a community forum where other travel advisors do talk. Us as Joy Makers, we hang out there as well. We can answer any questions up at this community tab up here. So it's going to pull from many different resources to get you the information that you need. If you need to get in touch with the TravelJoy team, or Joy Makers as we call ourselves, you can submit a request using this link up here at the top right, but there's a couple of different ways to get in touch with us as well. From your account, you'll see this blue chat button at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. This is our TJ bot. Now, we do offer live chat support Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. That is, of course, if we are all available to do so. Sometimes we have team meetings where we all need to be present, or we're traveling together as a team and we won't have chat available. But most days, those hours do allow you to chat live with a Joy Maker. Just click on the chat button. TJ will appear. A pro tip with TJ Bot: put in your full question to start. TJ might actually be able to help you find the answer that you're looking for. He's getting very, very smart and very good at it. But if not, he can go ahead and submit your question to us as Joy Makers, and we can get a head start on troubleshooting for you. So again, place in the full details of your question when you're starting your chats. That way we have all the information that we need to get running and get you a solution. We also encourage as many details as possible. So if you have screenshots of any errors you're encountering, or if you have a screen recording, if you'd like to explain that to us a little bit more over a screen recording, highly recommend those. Always appreciated and welcomed. You can include any attachments using this little paperclip icon over here on the left-hand side. You can also reach out to us at hello@traveljoy.com. That is our direct email. Another pro tip here, please be sure you are reaching out from the email associated with your TravelJoy account. That way we can verify your account ownership very quickly and start troubleshooting right away. Otherwise, we may have you go through the process of verifying your ownership for your account, which can take a little bit longer. So again, hello@traveljoy.com is in the chat. That is our direct email. We also have a wonderful webinar called Office Hours that happens on Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. We have one tomorrow. This is a live Q&A, so instead of watching one of us go through something like this where we're just showing you how to use the features, we offer the ability to answer questions live on screen for you. So these are going to be general questions, not questions pertaining to something specific within your account. But we would love for you to join us tomorrow, and I'm going to post the link to register in the chat now. All right, and last but not least, I have not forgotten, let's talk about our promo code. So you can add a promo code for 50% off your first 2 months of a monthly membership if you are a brand new member to TravelJoy by heading to the Settings tab and navigating to Membership. Right now, we offer our 2 membership options. We have $39 per month, or we have our annual option of $384 per year. You do end up getting a little bit of a discount over time when using this option. Again, this promo code only applies to monthly memberships, and you can access that promo code by using the Enter Promo Code link over here at the top right and typing in TJ Rocks 2025, and I'll post that in the chat. Once we select Save, it's going to apply that promo code, and you're going to get your first 2 months of TravelJoy at $19.50 per month. Now, if you have just signed up for a membership within the last week and you go, Caitlin, I didn't know there was going to be a promo code. I just signed up for my monthly TravelJoy membership. Can you help? Please reach out to us using the blue chat button at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, or by reaching out to us at hello@traveljoy.com, our direct email. We'd be happy to assess the situation. Again, that's if you've signed up for a brand new monthly membership in the last week or so. We're happy to assess and see if we can get that promo code applied for you. All right, folks, that's it. That's the full webinar. Hopefully you're still here, you're still with me, and hopefully you took a lot from this. I'm going to take a quick peek at our questions tab and say a huge thank you to Lenore for answering these questions in here. It looks like she's answered all of them, which is incredibly impressive. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Lenore. Let me take a quick peek and see if I can pull out any information that I could potentially highlight here. So let me take a quick peek. Yes. Okay, so someone did ask, Elisa, thank you. When we trigger the FAY insurance, do we earn commission? Yes, you can earn up to 24% commission where applicable in the country by using FAY travel insurance. That information is in the guide posted in the chat about FAY. I highly recommend checking it out. Oh, Melanie asked another great question too. Does the client automatically get a reminder email about upcoming payments, final payment due date? By default, no. You're going to be getting a task to remind you of the upcoming payment due date for each client and each invoice that you create. So let's take that off your plate. Let's automate that process. You can turn this on by heading to the Automation tab underneath Settings here and choosing the option to automatically send payment reminders to clients. You can choose how many days in advance you'd like those payment reminders to go out, what time based on the time in your account, and use which template from your email templates to accompany that payment reminder. Save that in place. We can update our existing invoices that we have or just use them for new. I'll just use it for new this time. But that's how you can automatically trigger those payment reminders and take that manual process out of it. So that's a great question. Thank you. All right. We've just got a few more seconds here. Just going to quickly scroll on through. Yep, and I believe, Spencer, I did go over this, but is it possible to change the default trip photo? I actually didn't go over this. This is actually a different topic, so that's exciting. So you can change the default trip photo. If you don't drive with the waterfall and rainbow, that's totally fine. You can head over to your Settings tab, scroll on down to trip photos. We have quite a few to choose from already in here. As you can see, this is the current default, but you can choose any of the photos you've chosen previously. I love this penguin so much. Yours will have some different options for you to choose from, and you can change the default trip photo just by using the green check mark there, or you can add your own photo here and use that green check mark to make that your default photo. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your wonderful questions. I believe Lenore has them all handled. If you have any further questions, please reach out to us at our chat bot at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen or at hello@traveljoy.com. We'd be happy to answer those questions for you. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us and taking time out of your day. Again, you will receive a recording of this event by email about 5 minutes after we end. And I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, evening, wherever you may be in the world. Take care.